Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Lance Wellness Show, a special report. I have only a few people that I would ever say are like my doctors. When I'm talking to my doctor, I'm talking about the very best Jewish doctor, even spirit-filled Jewish doctor. That's the best in the planet. Neil Goodman, the former chairman of the Department of Pediatrics, Southeast Georgia, fellow American, a fellow of the American Academy of Pediatrics, American College of Pediatricians, American Academy of Anti-Aging and Medicine, Institute of Functional Medicine, the Southern Medical Association. This man's credentialed, written about, respected, has taken historic, powerful stands for parents against the system. And for that reason, I think God has given him a special anointing as an inventor, just like Jordan Rubin, my other friend. This is a man who comes up with unique solutions to problems, and he's probably one of the best teachers who breaks down complex science and medicine. I talk to doctors sometimes, and they simplify it. They still confuse me. Never with him. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got him and my own Chelsea, who is our producer, who is joining me today because Chelsea is well, let's just say, she is the team sampler of every product, and if it passes her grid, we move to the next phase, and that's what we do in interviews. So, Dr. Goodman, you're going to be a featured speaker at our summit, and a lot of people aren't going to be able to make it to the summit because they waited too long. Maybe they could get a hold of a link. They could get into some of these expert sessions. Go to healthsummit.us. I'll put it up there for you. Reserve a seat so you can watch these brilliant people do these, I would say, life hacks on what you need to know in order to not depend on a corrupt system and be able to, frankly, use, like this doctor tells me, be your own doctor. Get enough smarts to be able to be the most informed decision maker for you and your children. So let's start with this, Doc. What are you going to be bringing to us at the summit? I know you've got something new, and it's very relevant. And Chelsea, I think you guys were already talking about things before I got online because you were yakking away. I hope it has to do with weight loss because I have to lose some weight, and I don't like everybody makes me feel anxious about taking shots that are snake venom in my stomach and all kinds of terrible things they're telling me. So tell me what you've got and help me understand this confusing field of how to lose weight.
Well, it is confusing for sure. And, you know, the medical industrial complex and big pharma is very invested in having people strung out and dependent, if you will, on medicines that they have to take for the rest of their life. That is how they make money. And unfortunately, even in our own government, they've made some recent deals with some of the companies that make these products to make them even more available so that they become more mainstream. But in the process, they're literally addicting an entire nation. And it's an interesting point that as far as weight loss goes, if we talk about GLP-1, which is what you referred to, GLP-1 is not considered a weight loss product in Europe, in the EU. It is for diabetes. It was originally developed for diabetes. But people saw in the United States that when people took that medicine for diabetes, that they were interestingly losing some weight. And that was a good thing. So they said, let's go ahead and monetize this and let's see if we can turn this and license it as a weight loss product. And that's what they've done. And it's gotten so bad that this past year, the American Academy of Pediatrics, to which I have belonged, recently said that Ozempic was now a first line remedy for obesity. And you have to understand that's huge. Can you imagine children who are obese, who are 3, 5, 10 years old, who are going to take a weekly shot of Ozempic because they're overweight instead of addressing what the real problems are?
So what are the dangers? I'm curious. What are the dangers of Ozempic? Everyone might not know.
Well, first of all, it's a drug. And Lance was correct. The original version of Ozempic was actually Exentide. Exentide, also known as Byetta. Byetta was derived from Gila monster lizard venom. It is not GLP-1. It is a biosimilar peptide that came out of a venom of a lizard. And it just so happens that it has so much similarity to some of the sequences that is in your natural GLP-1, which God gave you, that it acted in similar ways. So the problem is natural GLP-1 that your body makes only hangs around for a very short period of time. And it's approximately a half an hour to maybe 2 hours at most. And the purpose of it is when you eat your food, GLP-1 is secreted by your intestine. That's where it lives. And the result of that is that you feel like you're full, like you're done. It's your signal to stop eating. The problem with the exenatide and all of the derivatives of exenatide, which is now semaglutide, liraglutide, tirzepatide, which are all analogs of that. They're synthetic derivatives that are since processed and further synthesized to try to reduce side effects. But what they all accomplish is they bind to that receptor that the brain is looking to receive, that signal, and it sticks on there for a whole week. So instead of feeling as though you're full and satiated from your meal, now you're nauseated, you don't want to eat, and it persists for as long as a week. So what happens is you get not only drop in your blood sugar, which is what the original purpose of these products was for, but you also now get a relatively long-term suppression of appetite, which leads to very rapid weight loss. Well, the problem with that is when you lose weight and you're not eating, you don't lose just weight, you lose muscle. And people, and this has been known for a long time, your muscle is your longevity. If you have muscle, which peaks in the 20s and 30s of your life, and you start to lose it incrementally quickly as you age, and now you've accelerated that to the point where you're losing 20% muscle as you are attempting to lose weight, you are literally cutting your life short.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
You're shortening your life.
I never heard that before.
You do not have the reserve that you need. When you fall below a certain level of lean body mass, you can no longer stand. You can no longer function. You can't get up from a chair. This is what the elderly succumb of. It's the number one cause for death in elderly people is the loss of muscle, because that is the whole metabolic engine for the body. So if you've reduced the metabolic engine, the thing that consumes all your calories, because you have reduced that mass, now when you stop the Ozempic, you attempt to stop it. And it's not just Ozempic, it's all the other drugs that are similar to Ozempic. Tirzepatide, Wegovy, Mounjaro, they're all very similar in that regard. You then have this lack of enough body mass to continue your metabolic engine running at the speed that it was. So now when you come off of it, you're moving slower. Your energy level is slower. You process food slower. And so everyone who comes off of this gains all the weight back and then even then some. So there's an incredible problem with rebound. And in some cases, their normal digestive process, part of the way that that Ozempic and Wegovy work is not only it causes you to secrete insulin to drop your blood sugar, but it also slows your digestion. A lot of people suffer from it with burping, constipation, decrease in their intestinal transit time. So now you have, because the purpose of it is when your natural GLP-1, when you eat food, it's giving you enough time to digest your food. It slows your digestion down so that you sense, I've eaten, I now need to process this food. That was the original purpose of natural GLP-1, which your body makes. But in this artificial form, which is a venom, this is the way that the prey is paralyzed. Paralyzes the prey, paralyzes the stomach. They can't eat, they vomit, and then they're able to be preyed upon by the lizard, which ultimately eats them. In this case, you're getting a small dose of a toxin to accomplish the same thing, but not to the point that it kills you, but it slows your digestion down. Now, the point is when you come off of it, does your intestinal capacity to digest food ever come back? And in some people, it doesn't. They will stop the medicine, and 3 and 6 months later, they still can't eat. Therein lies the danger, and you cannot predict who that's going to be. Now, some people will have slow transit time and will slow down to the point where, it might take 3 to 6 weeks to come back, but they're very uncomfortable during that time. So it is a toxin.
All right, I'm gonna go into the kitchen. I'm gonna get your products. I'm gonna bring them in here because I have them in my house. I want to talk to you
Okay.
about them. Chelsea, go ahead and you guys talk amongst yourself while I get the products.
Well, I just was going to say the way you're describing this is it feels like we're being preyed upon. Like you have to do this to lose weight. There's no other way. You're making me feel like,
Oh,
oh my gosh.
that's societal, right? That is
Yeah.
okay. So God designed you perfectly. Okay. He
Oh, thank
put
you.
in you the engine, the peptides, the sequences, the enzymes. He gave you everything that you need to live a fruitful life. Okay.
Mhm.
And now we're talking about taking something from a animal that, medicine has a long history of using toxins and poisons as medicines. Okay. Even blood pressure medicine has been derived from snake venom. Okay. Look at Botox.
Well,
We do this. Why? We do this because we want to look nice and we want our skin not to have wrinkles, but we're injecting a toxin that in sufficient quantity can kill you, can make you stop breathing. So medicine has modified that or adjusted the doses so you're just getting incrementally small amounts to do what it is that they want to do or you want, because it's due to vanity, pride, whatever you want to call it. Thank you, Lance. So some of Lance asked the question, what am I going to bring?
What am I doing?
Going to...
I got these. I haven't been instructed yet.
Okay. So what that product is, that is not GLP-1, first of all. Okay. The only GLP-1 that we have is what our body makes in terms of bioidentical GLP-1. Your body makes it. Some people's receptors are not that fine-tuned where they sense that signal adequately. They have other competing signals in their body that are encouraging them to eat. An example is something called ghrelin. I talk about ghrelin. Ghrelin is a peptide that is secreted by the stomach. Think growl. My stomach's growling. I'm hungry. That's the signal to tell you to eat. So if you have higher levels of ghrelin than you have of GLP-1, you're constantly in an effort to look for food. Okay, so it's a mismatch. It's a mismatch of these signals. So the point of this is that we want to have the right amount of the proper nutrients so that we're not grr and hungry and we're not seeking nutrition all the time, because honestly, our food supply is so poor. In the United States, our food is horrible. As a result of the food industry, we have very, very non-nutritious food. And they'd like to convince, they just want to fill you up, empty calories. You've seen it. Look at the kids. We have an epidemic of overweight children. We have children now that I think 1 in 5 children is obese and 1 in 6 is overweight.
Oh my gosh.
That's 30 to 40% of children are overweight or obese. And in adults, it's 74%, of which 33% are obese. And this never used to occur. So realize that the food industry is not interested in, they're interested in selling you a product that tastes good, but it's completely devoid of nutrition. We're not eating whole food, which is why some of your other guests who are on the going to be at the summit are going to be talking about good nutrition, how to optimize that, how to supplement to replace the things that you're missing. Because if your body gets those things, it isn't hungry. You will eat appropriately. So these are all crutches. These drugs are crutches. Now, in the case of the product that Lance held up, which is the mind-body GLP-1 natural system, which I'll be talking about that at the talk, that is a product that increases your natural GLP-1 by 200%. It increases the secretion by sending your stomach the appropriate signals that it's looking for, so that it will make the GLP-1, and it also increases the amount of the receptor that you are coding for. And that receptor is in your brain and in your muscle and in a lot of other tissues of the body, so that you have now more receptivity to that increased signal. And the net result is that you feel satiated. You feel as though you have eaten, and you'll slow down and you won't eat as much, but you still have to use common sense.
So you got 30 minutes before you eat. You take 2 of these, and it's increasing the signal. So it is telling you, Like it's help. Explain to me again. It's really helping to
Yeah.
decrease your appetite a little bit
So
because
it's
a half
using
hour
8.
later you got the signals are talking.
Yeah. So it's using 8 different natural flavonoids, which come from nature. These are natural products that were specifically designed to tell the L cells of your intestine to make more GLP-1. The second component of that, after 30 minutes, there is an accompanying drink, which is a powder that's very high in fiber, but also probiotics to help to optimize the. I don't know if you realize this, but it is the L cells that make this GLP-1. And the L cells are looking for a breakdown product from fiber that you eat. So when this fiber product comes down through your intestine, it's broken down by the bacteria, the good bacteria, if they're the right ones. Some people's microbiomes are all messed up. They don't have the right bacterial enzymes to break down their fiber, so their body never gets that signal. And so then their bodies don't secrete GLP-1. This makes sure that that happens. So now you have the right fiber, which will be broken down by the right bacteria to send that signal to the L cells, and the L cells then will increase their GLP-1 production. But ultimately, if it allows you not to have to spend a lot of money on a very expensive drug that has quite a side effect profile, not to mention there's a small risk of thyroid medullary cancer and multiple endocrine neoplasia, which is adrenal tumors. These are risk factors with receiving this artificial venom. Okay, and that's the science. So they dumb that down so that you won't be aware. But imagine people who they design these products for you to take them for life. You'll take
Oh,
them, you'll
wow.
lose weight, you'll lose muscle mass, and you'll take them the rest of your life. And when you stop them, you'll gain all your weight back. One
So I have a
additional
question.
thing, if I can mention, that nobody knows about: these drugs, they also, natural GLP-1 has a calming effect on the body. Okay. These drugs also have a similar thing, but in some people, they become so calm that they become despondent and they become depressed. And there is a suicide risk associated with using GLP-1. And it's not often talked about. There is an emotional component to this. So it is not all that it's designed to be. And this all needs to come out, but you're not hearing
Well,
that from your
all I
doctor.
know is a little self-disclosure here. Now, don't give me all the hate mail, okay? So my doctor was selling Ozempic, and he said, Lance, you're overweight, you're struggling. I'm having all my customers or clients or whatever, patients, are getting great results with this new shot. And that's what I heard. I didn't even know what it was yet. He said, I can arrange it for you. Annabelle will do it. I know you don't like needles. I go, I don't like the shots. He goes, just once. You hardly feel it, like once a week. And you're going to start losing the weight. It'll take care of your appetite and you'll feel great. Well, it was Ozempic. I didn't know about it. It was brand new. I did it for like 2 shots, maybe 3. My mood was so altered that my staff complained to Annabelle, what is he doing? Is he taking something? She said, no, but he's losing weight. Maybe he's grumpy because he's losing weight. It wasn't. I literally went through a chemical state change by the effect of Ozempic. This is my experience, not everybody's. But my staff made me get off it. And that's why I'm looking for, well, I got to deal with the weight situation because, and maybe it's probably diet and everything else. But I hate having the appetite. I hate being hungry. If I'm going to fast, I'll fast. But I want to be able to lose the weight without thinking about food.
And I appreciate that disclosure because people need to hear that because it's not talked about. And to be full transparency also, I have written 4 prescriptions for Ozempic and tirzepatide, Wegovy, and Mounjaro for my patients. I have patients that demand it, they want it, I counsel them. But I counsel them. That's called informed consent. Everyone has a right for medical autonomy. That's a big part of what this conference is about. You have one of the greatest stalwart doctors who is coming to your conference, Dr. Simone Gold, who spent 6 months in jail because she fought for the medical autonomy of this nation. And you have Dr. Peter McCullough, who literally lost his entire career in cardiology, one of the most esteemed cardiologists in the nation, the most published person about COVID. When he started talking about COVID-19 and that it caused myocarditis, he was shamed and discredited, and he had to reinvent himself, much like I had to reinvent myself from my experience of not wanting to vaccinate children for COVID. So you have assembled here this incredible group of the most bold, free thinkers, God-fearing individuals who are speaking truth, and they're going to share with you everything that you need to know to take your life back, because there is no greater doctor than our God, our Lord and Savior. He is the great healer. And, you know, our job as doctors is to partner with Jesus, to ask him to give us the insight, to give us the guidance, give us the knowledge. You know, Hosea 4:3, is it 4:3? Says, we perish for a lack of knowledge.
Right.
Well, I don't have all the knowledge in the world, and these doctors don't either, but we learn. And God opens our mind and opens our heart so we can be receptive to what we need to know so that we can influence the lives of people. But if we are honoring or idolizing money, greed, profit, then you do not have a doctor who's invested in your care. And that's where you have to take charge of your life back. And you have to have that discernment to know when you're either being lied to or something that doesn't quite add up. Like Lance, you said that you got that sense that something was wrong with that. Didn't seem
my
right.
personality changed. I mean, my wife even agreed with him. He's become, she said, he's becoming a different person. Well, I was having a reaction, people. I was having a reaction. Chelsea, do we have, people are going to start to call me now. I'm going to take what Lance is taking. So I'm doing this now. So what's the link for that?
If you're interested in this weight loss product Dr. Goodman is talking about, it's natural. It doesn't have a black box warning. It's not going to give you depression, like, you know, the stuff that Lance's doctor was trying to peddle. The link is lancewallnau.com/weight loss. lancewallnau.com/weight loss. That's where you can go find out about this. Dr. Goodman is going to be at the Health Summit, like he's talking about. You guys can get your live stream ticket. You can watch online. I know we're a week out. You can still come if you want, but I want to encourage you to get your live stream ticket. You can hear from Dr. Goodman. He's going to go way more in depth about all of this, you know, how to activate your GLP-1, all of this breaking technology, all of our other speakers. That's healthsummit.us, healthsummit.us. And you can go there. You can look at the different ticket options we have. But I want to encourage you to get your live stream ticket. Because Dr. Goodman, you're going to talk for like 45 minutes to an hour on all of this, really in depth. I'd love to hear more of what you think.
And, you know, and Chelsea, and I don't know where our time is with this, but, you know, we've talked about GLP-1, but just understand it is so much deeper than that. And I'm going to give everyone the tools, the words, the science, so they can have an intelligent conversation with their physician of choice, someone that they trust. And if they're not hearing the same message, if they're not hearing based on the knowledge that they've been given at this conference, they can make a rational decision to say, you know, you're not working in my interest. I'm walking out. I'm going to find somebody else. And if they want to contact me, I'm offering myself to that. They'll have to come to Georgia to come and see me, to have a relationship with me. Unfortunately, I can't work across state borders like that, but I'm happy to be a part of that. And I'm going to give people the tools, the worksheet, a worksheet and an algorithm, how to work through this weight loss process, if you will, before they get to the ultimate decision about what it is that they should use for themselves. And I'm not saying that Ozempic or Wegovy isn't indicated. It may be for someone. If someone has diabetes, if they have such morbid obesity that it's causing such significant life-altering conditions that they risk losing their life from it, then it may be okay to get their weight down to a manageable place. But we need an exit ramp. We need something that we can't say, oh, you know, we're going to be on it forever. We're going to use it to get to a target weight, perhaps under real good medical guidance, and then give them a way to sort of ease off of it without having the rebound weight gain and all the consequences. So this is not something that, you know, nowadays you can call online and go to 1-800-weight-loss and that will send you Ozempic in the mail. I mean, that's how bad it is. You know, for a few $100s, they're making money and they don't care what happens to you.
Yeah. Well, I also think people are just desperate. I mean, I've really struggled with my weight. I got up to over 300 pounds
This,
and I got desperate. You know, I've gotten a lot of weight off. I'm doing better. This is something I'm definitely interested in. I know a lot about this, but I don't know if you have any feedback into that, the psychology of it. Like the food is poisoning us. Everything's poisoning
well,
us. I
I'm
feel
not
like we
here
need
to try to
help.
scare people.
Yeah.
What I want to do is I want to just give truth and knowledge. Okay, that's
Hmm.
what I do. Educate, right? It does not matter to me what someone wants to do. I will guide them, right, and give them the tools so they can make that decision. But understand that, you know, when people are losing weight, if their metabolism is completely messed up because, say, they have low thyroid, or say they have a vitamin B6 complex deficiency, or say they have MTHFR, which is a methylation defect. If they have these things that they don't even know about, and you don't fix that first, it doesn't matter how much Ozempic you give them or how much dieting they do, they will not lose weight because their metabolism is defective from the very get-go. Something happened to them. That could have been because of the nature of the food or the nature of a condition that they inherited and that they don't even know. I have probably 40% of the people that come into my office that have a weight loss journey, that want to lose weight and ask me for Ozempic, are hypothyroid and or type 2 diabetic. And they don't even know
Wow.
it
Wow.
until I present it to them. It's like, we've got to take care of this. Your cells are starving. It's a cellular dysfunction. Your cells are starving amidst abundance. So we're in a world where everything's abundant. Look at supersize your plate, supersize your gulp drink, all that stuff, right? Portion size, huge. But so you have this world of abundance, but the body perceives itself as starving because it's metabolically defective. Something's wrong. And until you fix that and allow the food to re-enter the system to satisfy the body, they are going to continue to eat with abandon and cause them to gain weight. And you'll
Well,
never
listen,
accomplish anything.
this is, we could get into this subject and that, and then the door opens up. I want to talk again about I could do this twice a day, not once a day. There's different ways you can do this.
Yeah.
And just give me 1 minute, but I'm already over. Can you give me a thought real quick? And I could do this more than once,
Yeah.
right?
So take the 2 pills first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Let it work. Okay. Then you can go ahead and take that drink mix and put either 2 scoops in a drink of whatever it is that you want. I suggest something that contains protein. It could be milk, it could be soy milk, it could be almond milk. It's a nice vanilla flavor. It mixes with anything. Honestly, it mixes with anything. You can do 2 scoops in the morning. You can do 2 scoops in the afternoon. I do 4 scoops at once, and I add it to a protein powder or a collagen, and I drink and sip on it all day. I put it in water so it doesn't spoil. I don't like it in milk because I'm sipping it all day long. I intermittent fast. I eat 1 meal a day. My meal is at 6 p.m., which I think it's 6 p.m. my time right now. Been going all day. How about you, Lance? And so I eat in a 3 to 4 hour window in the evening, and that drink satisfies me all day to the point where I have no appetite. I'm not interested in eating. I maintain my weight, right? I'm not. You can lose 1 to 2 pounds a week if you want to, right? And I decide how many calories I'm going to eat for my dinner, and I don't overdo it. And I focus on protein because protein is muscle. You have to exercise. You must exercise, or you will lose muscle mass as you get older. You have to, and I'll talk about that.